Hello everybody, my name's Hughes. I'm the Director of Communications for the Spirit Invest Group. Today I want to take the opportunity to review President Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address and to see or to conclude whether or not it was a positive address for the country, for business, for investment, and of course for clients. Overall, I think we can say it was a very positive delivery. One is reminded of the phrase that Ronald Reagan used when dealing with Mikhail Gorbachev, which was the Russian phrase, which is dovyat not brovyat, trust but verify. So I think that in the case of President Ramaphosa, he was correct to reflect on the improvements in South Africa over the past year or so. I don't think he gave due credit to the Government of National Unity for those improvements, but certainly we've had significant improvements, and we should celebrate those. We shouldn't have got into those crises in the first place, but consider that we don't have load shedding at the moment. We've been lifted up from the grey list, the FATF grey list. We've had some ratings improvements as well. The JSE has done extraordinarily well. The Rand has strengthened. So these are all very, very good indicators. We've also had some improvement in South Africa through Operation Vulundlela. So infrastructure is beginning to improve. The harbour efficiency is beginning to improve. But then it was a very sober speech identifying the key challenges in South Africa. And these are profound, of course. And given that President Ramaphosa probably has 2 years to deliver on his promises, of which he's made many and kept relatively few, it was a very sort of businessman-like approach to this State of the Nation address last night. So, remarkably, President Ramaphosa identified organized crime as the biggest threat to our democracy. And South African citizens for years have identified crime as one of their biggest concerns. It's a major concern for local investment, business. It's a major concern for international business and investment. And clearly, if we don't get organized crime sorted out in South Africa, then our investment profile will not be as positive as it could and should be. So President Ramaphosa has identified organized crime, and this is the illicit economy. So it's people obviously exploiting weaknesses in the gold sector, so the zamazamas, the gold mining sector, alcohol, tobacco. And if you think about the level of organized crime in these sectors, sometimes illicit trade in these sectors accounts for over 50% of the volume sold. Now that in itself is problematical. But think about the consequences then for the fiscus. We are losing probably perhaps 30, 40 billion rands a year of excise that is not being paid because of organized crime. So what was also positive is that there's a public-private partnership being established to tackle organized crime. President Ramaphosa, of course, this is a year of local government elections in South Africa. So President Ramaphosa focused on local government issues. Obviously, the critical issue for those who live in Johannesburg is water. Simply the inability of local government to deliver water reliably and safely. And that's a critical issue that he addressed as well, or at least he said he was going to address. We've also seen in the Western Cape that he's going to send in the SANDF to tackle gangsterism and crime. That's both possibly a positive, but also a negative. It's obviously a job that the police should be doing and are not getting right. And this is an issue for the Western Cape government, local policing and national policing as well. He also said there will be lifestyle audits, there will be checks on the police force, and of course that's something that's emerging from the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry, that the police force itself appears to be corrupt at the senior levels and captured as well. So that needs to be tackled. Another positive was the commitment towards sustaining local industry. So this is the steel industry, assistance to the motor industry, and keeping our industrialization going. The unbundling, the further unbundling of Eskom is a welcome step as well. So major investment in infrastructure has been promised. It's been promised for some time, and frankly, it hasn't been delivered. And if we're going to get realistic about the economy, not only do we have to tackle crime, we have to put our money where our mouth is. And so the commitment in terms of infrastructure spend, roads, bridges, dams, of course, rehabilitation of harbours. Railways are critically important, and frankly, our railways are falling apart, which is a brake on industry. Now, as much as the SONA was quite positive and quite business person-like, the truth, or rather the proof of the pudding, will be in the budget. And so the budget is likely to be delivered at the end of February 2026. And the group will be delivering a number of YouTube videos on the budget to see how the commitments made by President Ramaphosa are going to be financed for the year to come. So we look forward to speaking to you again shortly.